Hold on, is this really the life I'm living? 'Cause I don't feel like I deserve it. Every day that I wake, every breath that I take, you've given. So right here, right now, while the sun is shining down, I wanna live like there's no tomorrow, like I'm on borrowed time. It's good to be alive. Yeah.
You always hear that the downhills are. Anyway, I'm on the Wild Azalea Trail. It's about 9 o'clock Saturday morning. I'm at the Evangeline Camp trailhead is where I started. It's going to be a long day, but I'm packed. I'm gonna go talk a little bit more as I get on the trail, but my goal is I'm doing 16 and a half miles to Town Hall of Woodworth from Evangeline Camp. I'll come back on here in just a little bit once I get situated and tell you some of the new gear I've got going on. But yeah, I'm excited. Looking forward to seeing. It should be a pretty nice day on the Wild Azalea Trail. I'm probably about a half mile in on the Wild Azalea Trail. Started at Evangeline Camp. It's a Saturday morning. It's probably 68, 69 degrees. Beautiful morning. It's overcast. It's calling for a little chance of rain throughout the day. A tenth here, a tenth there, but nothing overwhelming, not a gully washer. So my goal today, my wife dropped me off at the trailhead at Evangeline Camp. My goal is to hike to the town of Woodworth, which is the easternmost end of the Wild Azalea Trail. It shows it to be about 17.1 miles. This portion of the Wild Azalea is not very, it doesn't have too much terrain change. It's largely flat. It's pretty wide, but nice trail so far. I've never hiked it, just by reading the reviews, reading what some people have written about it, and reading the online trail description. Should be pretty good. We've had some rain the last few days, so I'm carrying, to start off with, 1.5 liters. About 8 miles down the trail, I've got a gallon of water stashed. A place where the trail is going to cross one of the Forest Service roads. So I stashed some water. I've got my filter. I could always filter. Just wasn't sure what the water conditions were going to be like. You never hiked this trail. You don't have much information as far as reliable water sources. Nice little hill up there. This is a big difference so far from a couple weekends ago when me and my buddy Larry Bro and his son Christian did the sandstone trail. Looks like every half mile there's markers. No horses, no ATVs. Bicycles are okay. And foot traffic, of course. So, anyway, still part of my training before I do the Eagle Rock Loop Trail. That'll probably be in March. I just don't really want to do a lot of river, creek, or stream crossings in the cold in Arkansas. It's the only reason I'm not planning on February doing the Eagle Rock Loop. Plus, I want to make it a little closer to my hike of my Georgia section, the Georgia section of the AT. I want to get a little closer to that. So I'm probably looking at March. Anyhow, let me get down the trail a little ways. Got a little ways to go today. I'm thinking it's going to take me about 6 hours. Told my wife I plan to be finished somewhere between 3:30 and 4. Of course, I got started about 30 minutes later. I wanted to be on the trail walking at 9. It was about 9:30. The road was in bad shape. The Forest Service road coming in had to slow down, and took a little bit longer to go to that crossing for me to stash the water than what I thought it would. But it's all good. I got all day. Yellow diamonds marks the trail. I'm going to use this segment or this video to basically try to segment the Wild Azalea Trail. When you do a YouTube search, there's not much results on the Wild Azalea. There's not many. So I'm coming up on the first road crossing since I left Evangeline Camp. The Wild Azalea Trail is broken into 7 segments. I began on segment number 3, working towards 7. The beginning of segment 3 is at Evangeline Camp, and it ends at this road crossing right up here. That's where segment 4 starts. It is 2.2 miles. Segment 3 is 2.2 miles. And I'm going to link in my video the Wild Azalea map and also the segments so you can keep track of where you're at on the trail. Let's see, coming out of the road here. This is a Forest Service U.S. Highway or State Highway 488. There's a trailhead sign. Let's see. Okay. So there you go. Firefighting was set up here on tree planting 1 mile south of here in an area that we're going to go through called Castor Plunge. I see the diamonds there. There's parking for the trail. So I'm beginning segment 4. That last segment took me about 35 minutes. I hike at about 3 miles an hour. Looks like they've had some burning operations in here. Still kind of smell it in the air. Probably a couple months ago, this part of the national forest, well, just north of here, was hit with a tornado. A tornado tracked through here. It was a long track tornado. It was about 63 or 64 miles of EF3. A lot of damage north of here. The trail is cut off. It's the reason I had to start at Evangeline Camp. The trail, you can't go north from there. It's closed. The Forest Service has closed it until further notice. This area here looks to have burned recently. Undergrowth, nice and clean. The trail so far has been amazing. We shall see what the other 15 miles holds, but you can tell it's been maintained. The first weekend in January, they have what's called the Wild Azalea Trail Run. Wild Azalea in its entirety is 26.2 miles. They have a trail run, ultra marathon type deal. It's on a Saturday. Well, they still held it, but I think they rerouted part of it because of the damage from the tornado. Going down into a bottom here, it looks like. So yeah, they have that ultra marathon run. They rerouted part of it, but I think this area here, because it was open, they still ran this area. So I'm sure they came through and did some good trail maintenance beforehand, which makes this a nice time to hike the trail because of that. Now I'm using my brand new pack my wife got me for my birthday. It's a Granite Gear 60 liter. Super excited about it. Completely unloaded, just the pack itself, 2 pounds 6 ounces, compared to my very first pack that I've ever bought that I've been using. It was 5.5 pounds, and that was my first pack, just getting into backpacking. So I shaved 3 pounds off my base weight, 3.2 pounds, something along those lines. Super excited about that. Today I'm using it more like just a day pack. I just got my food, snacks in there, extra pair of socks, change of clothes, so forth, so on. Nothing major. I put it on the scale last night, including the 1.5 liters of water. I put it on the scale last night and I think it's like 9 pounds. With the gear improvements I've done over the last year, even considering my old pack, my weight was, with 3 days of food, my pack weight was 28 pounds, shy of 30. Well, I'm gonna take 3 pounds off of that, so I'm gonna be down 26 pounds as my weight with 1.5 liters of water and 3 days of food. The last piece of gear that I want to upgrade, but I don't have any plans to do it right now since I just got the pack, a tent. I'm using a tent by Sierra Designs right now. I'd like to upgrade that to a single person tent, maybe a 1.5, and get down into the 2 to 3 pound range, shaving off another couple pounds off of my weight. But with the Georgia section coming up, I want to do everything I can. Looks like the trail's a little sloppy through here. It's been raining a lot last several days, so it's not surprising the trail's in this condition, but it's all good. Okay, got a little brick path going through here. Erosion control, that's nice. Little climb here, nothing major. But anyhow, finished section 3. Oh, somebody left their bicycle. Wonder if that was from the bicycle. No, I don't know what that is. Why that bike would be there. Anyway, oh well. Finished section 3. I'm on section 4. I think section 4 is 3.2 miles. A little bit of terrain change going down. Definitely been some brush clearing operations going on recently. Lots of fresh sawdust, fresh burn. Makes the trail nice and clean. You still smell it in the air, the remnants of the burn. I think I'm going down into something referred to as caster plunge. Definitely losing elevation. Again, had never hiked this before, so I'm not real sure, what to expect, but It's been really nice, clean hiking so far. Little hill climb, which for Louisiana is decent. Yeah, you can tell they're definitely trying to maintain this. I'm not sure if this was because of the trail run. Probably so. Give them a good smooth footing. But some of this is, you can tell this trail maintenance been here a while. They've done a pretty decent job. Really looking forward to the Eagle Rock Loop here in a month or so, month and a half. Looking forward to the physical part of it. 26 miles. I'm gonna try to do it in 2 days. I'll build in some extra time. That way, if I do need to camp along the way, and I realize I'm not gonna make it in 2 days, I'll build in some extra time. But my goal is to do it in 2 days. Let's see. Yeah, leftover from the trail run a couple weekends ago. So for future planning, probably not a bad time to hike this trail. They'll come through and clean it out. I don't know if it's just coincidence because they did the control burn. I'm sure the Forest Service ain't worried about a trail run, so it's just coincidence, but it makes it nice. Been about 4.5 miles down the trail, crossed a nice little bridge back there. There it is right there. But a nice little creek flowing. Looks like it's wide enough and deep enough, probably be a good water source pretty much year round unless it's August. You know, hadn't had no rain in a while, but it's flowing, so I would suspect got some good water right there pretty much year round as resupply. I think I just crossed mile marker 13 or 13 and a half, so it's in this area. I'm not sure which creek that is, but wanted to show you. We definitely have good water flowing. Like I said, I stashed that 1 gallon of water about 8 miles from Evangeline Camp. Looks like I probably won't need it, but I'll go back and get the gallon. Okay, looks like I'm coming to the end of segment 4. Here's a Forest Service road. Yeah, this is the end of segment 4. It took me about an hour. It's 11:05. So it took me an hour and a half to do both segments, 3 and 4. It's been a good trail. That's what it looks like. I think I'm going into what's called the Castor Plunge Scenic Area, I believe. So I'm gonna take a little break, give me some water, check my stats, see how I'm doing, and yeah, keep on going. But some Forest Service road comes right up through here, and right there is where the trail came out. Starting segment 5, I took a little break back there. Got a little water, little protein bar snack. Feel good. 5.1 miles so far. Did that in about an hour and a half. So that's great. Hour and 40 actually, I think. This segment is the longest segment on the Wild Azalea Trail. It's, according to the map, it's 6.6 miles long. It's also considered the most difficult, which there's a rating scale. The segment that I just completed was considered difficult. This segment is considered more difficult. I don't know what that means, but it starts at, as you can see, mile marker 14. So, and it says it's strenuous because of the frequent ups and downs and creek crossings. So we shall see. We shall see how it goes. This Granite Gear Crown 260 pack is amazing. I mean, I know it only has 10 pounds in it, but man, I literally feel, I don't even feel it on my back. It's just very comfortable. And this is my first outing, so I realize I'm getting used to it. Doesn't look to be any burn in this area, but it definitely looks like they've done some undergrowth clearing. A lot of undergrowth clearings. This is the segment I've got my water stashed on, right towards the end of this segment. So, and it's on the trail. But anyhow, I'll be back later. Beautiful area. Thankful I'm out here hiking. I'm thankful that I have the strength. I'm thankful I have the energy. I'm blessed. I'm just honored to be able to enjoy our national forest lands and our parks. And, you know, I'm just thankful that I can do this. Not that I have any health reasons not to be able to do it. It's just that I appreciate the moment and I appreciate the opportunity to be able to do this. Okay, came across another little creek here. A little footbridge right back there. Nice clean water. I would suspect most of the year it's a good water resupply point. Good filtering place. Must be in some kind of a bottom down here. I mean, everything is wet. We do have to do a couple creek crossings, or at least that may have been one of them there, the little bridge. I'm not sure. I don't think they're wet crossings, but yeah. In that last segment, there was in that Castor Creek area, it was pretty boggy. Had to walk off to the side of the trail a little bit. Well, mud. Ain't no way around this. Ugh. Okay. There you go. Feel like I'm back on the sandstone trail. We'll see. But I did bring an extra pair of merino wool socks. So we'll see if I need to change them halfway through. That was the worst part of anything I've walked on so far. It's pretty. It's quiet. I bought me some new Asics Venture 7s to start breaking them in, but I didn't want to bring them here, only because I wasn't familiar with the trail and didn't want to do 17 miles on new shoes and deal with any kind of foot blister issues. I'll save those for the state park area. I usually hike there around the house. That way if there are any hot spots do pop up, I'll be close to the house. A little bit farther down the trail, I've probably done 7 miles now. 7.5 maybe. Nice little creek I've been following for a little bit. Plenty of water. So now I would suspect, and again this is January, been having rain. Probably wouldn't need to stash any water except maybe during the dry months. This section hadn't been difficult yet. I mean, nothing more than other parts, at least I hadn't experienced it to be. It's well marked. Got plenty blaze markings. Anytime the trail changes directions, got double blazes. So it's clear. Nice little hill climb here, but nothing more difficult than other sections. So anyway, wanted to bring you that little shot. This segment of the Wild Azalea Trail, section 5, segment 5, crosses 2 or 3 Forest Service roads. I'm not sure which one this is. I'm fixing to pull my trail map out and look and see, and then I'll come back online and show you on the map where we're at. Okay. Here is where segment 5 began. Right there. There was a water source there. I hiked, I believe I'm right here. That is Forest Service Road 247. Is where I'm at. I'm on segment 5. It's 6.6 miles. This is the first road I've crossed since that parking. So yeah, I'm probably right there. 247. Been hiking probably about right at 3 hours now. I think I've gotten just over 8 miles of the 17. So not too bad. Hadn't been too bad of a trail so far. I don't usually have knee problems, but excuse me, my right knee feels like it's wanting to tighten up a little bit. I haven't wrenched it, but it definitely feels a little tighter. Just coming down to a real nice area right here. I'd show you the trail. There's been plenty of little minor water crossings and creek crossings, and a couple, as I showed you on film earlier, of what I think would have water most of the year. Here's a little minor one. It'd probably dry up pretty quick, but enough. Refill your bottle if you needed to. Nice little bridges throughout. It's not a bad trail. The Forest Service has done a good job of keeping it nice. You can tell they've invested some time, some energy, a little bit of money. Little hill climb here. Can't tell, I know, because cameras never show the right angle. But it's good that you're along. We'll go to the top of the hill. So that's been kind of the hill climbs they're talking about. Nothing significant. I guess probably in about a mile or two, I'll be crossing the next Forest Service road. And I think that's the road that I've got my water stashed on. I'm using, as a background app running, GPS, Gaia, G-A-I-A, Gaia GPS. It has this trail already plotted on it. So it's keeping up with my mileage, my time. Any of you who've used the app, you know it does a pretty good job. So I took a screenshot of that last road crossing back there, 247, and I'll plug it in the video. A little downhill now since we climbed. Now we'll go down, and this is when I notice it on my knee. And I know that's probably most hikers. You always hear that the downhills are a little bit more difficult than the ups. It's like another little bridge down there. And back up we go. I know this is nothing compared to the North Georgia mountains, but this is all part of my training for the Georgia section. Where I'm from in South Louisiana, the biggest thing we have to hill climb is a curb on a sidewalk. So coming out here really gives me some good mileage off trail, and two, a little peace to enjoy it. But more importantly, a little bit of elevation change. Okay. Must be on some sort of old, maybe what was a logging road way back in the day. It's a long, narrow, flat stretch, straight, with water on both sides, a bog on both sides. Maybe way back in the day was some sort of a road, but I've been on this for quite a while now. And this is just as flat as can be. I'm not sure, but Just interesting how the trail changes. It's a little ridge right down through the middle of this real wet area. Just crossed mile marker 18. I think I started at mile marker 8.5. It's about 12:30, 12:40, something like that. I'm making pretty decent time, I feel like. I got about another, probably about halfway, somewhere in that area. Maybe a little bit more than halfway I've completed. All right, I thought I'd just bring you on to show you this. If you decide to do the wild azalea, price starting somewhere around mile marker 17, 17.5 maybe, you'll hit this. And it's just a nice little flat stretch, a lot of cypress. I'm just glad it is elevated, because you'd have to be traversing all of that. That'd be a messy hike there. Coming up to our next Forest Service Road crossing. We're still in segment 5. I've been 10.49 miles. Right, this is where I stashed my water at, right up here on the other side of this road. I'm gonna take a little bit of a break. I've been going pretty much since 9:30, other than to stop and drink a little bit of water. There's a whole big group of cars up there. I ran into those folks down the trail. I'll tell you about them in a little bit. But just to stop and drink a little bit of water, eat a snack, find my position on the map. Let's see. I'll show you what I did with my water. This morning, I parked right there on the road, and I walked down the trail just 20, 30 feet to right here. There it is. My water. Still stashed there. Covered it up with some pine needles. There we go. Now I can refill my bottle. Okay, I'll show you where I'm at on the map. I am right there. Right there, where the circle is. That is Forest Highway 287. Right there. It comes off of 488. I came down this morning. I knew the trail crossed right here. This is where I stashed my water. The trail continues. That's the end of segment 5 right there. Right there. That's the end of segment 5. Segment 6 is 3.5 miles. It goes down to there. And the last segment, which is 1.7 miles, segment 7, it's a road walk from there into the town of Woodworth. So I'll probably have a mile to the end of this segment, and then I'll have 3.5 and 1.7. So 4.5, what's that, 5.2? So I'll probably have 6.2 miles left. Bunch of cars. Okay. Probably about a mile before the road crossing. Just back there where I refilled my water. I was following along a creek, and I look up ahead of me and I see a whole boatload of folks walking down by the creek. They weren't backpackers. I could tell just by they just weren't backpackers. Like, what is going on here? So I followed the trail, and the trail ended up making its way around to where they were. They were with a local club looking for reptiles and amphibians in the water and along the bank, the creek. And they had their little probing tools. A couple of them had cameras. Somebody had a journal. And as one would find something, they'd say, "Oh, I found such and such." And the group would walk over there and take pictures and make notes in the journal, and they'd discuss it, and then they'd keep on going, walking down the creek bed. They had boots on, and you had young folks, older folks, college-age folks. It was a big group of them. I'd say probably 15 of them. So I just said hi, asked how they're doing and what's going on. They told me, and told them where I was headed, and took off. But anyway, I guess you just never know what you're going to see out on the trail. Got my water refueled. Ate me another protein bar. Looking at the map, I got about another mile or so to the end of this segment. I'm just crossing mile marker 19.5. I think the trail is 26.2, so whatever that works out to be. Yeah, but I don't think there's any more creek crossings, or at least if there is, it's going to be nothing like what I've been coming through, the wet part. It looks like here it'll probably just be walking through the pine stands of the national forest. Probably got about a mile until the end of this segment. I got to cross 2 roads. The second road is the end of the segment. The first road is Forest Service Road 212. That'll be coming up here shortly. And then after that'll be the second road. That'll mark the end of segment 5, which is 6.6 miles total length. I started that at 11:30 this morning. It's 1:30. So probably right at 3 miles an hour, which is my target. I realize in North Georgia or on the Eagle Rock, I probably won't be doing 3 miles an hour because it'll be, one, the terrain will be more rugged. Secondly, I feel there'll probably be some real pretty, lots of scenery that I'm going to want to stop and ooh and ah at and take pictures. Both Eagle Rock Loop and the AT. So, anyhow, life is good. The rain has held off. Still very overcast, very humid. Not much breeze, if any, at all. According to the almanac, it was supposed to get up to 69 or 70 degrees a day. It may be that, but the humidity definitely makes it feel in the middle to upper 70s. Coming up on Forest Service Road 212. Yeah. Pretty quiet. Just wanted to show you. No markings other than you just have to know on your map where you're at. I hear some people ahead. Can't tell. It's over there somewhere. I don't know. Can't tell how far they are, but I can hear them. I know you can't. Anyway, Forest Service Road 212 crossing. Next crossing will be the end of Segment 5. I got some backpackers coming. Let's see. I'll talk to them for a little bit. There they come. There looks like one, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alrighty. That was 4 scouts and 3 troop leaders. They're from a Struma troop, which is down in Baton Rouge, about 2 hours from here. And they started where I'm ending up at the Woodworth Town Hall Trailhead. And they're going through where I hiked at, that real boggy area, that Castor Creek area. They must have a campsite down there picked out. And he said they're going to stay the night there and then finish up tomorrow somewhere out on Twin Bridges Road or something like that. I'm not sure where their pickup point is. They probably dropped a vehicle so they could go shuttle a vehicle. Anyway, it's good to see people out and about enjoying nature, enjoying the trail. But yeah, so my next crossing will be the end of segment 5. Okay, I made it to the second crossing. It's really an unmarked, unpaved road. I crossed another little trail, if you will, maybe a 4-wheeler or a side-by-side back there, maybe just a couple hundred yards, that led to some sort of a water processing plant or water well. And I thought maybe that'd been it, but I was like, surely not. But this is where it took me to. Here's the trail here. So I'm gonna stop right here for a little bit, take a little bit of a break. I haven't stopped. It's right at 12 miles to this point. To end section 5, segment 5, it's right at 12 miles. It's like 11.9 something. So I've got segment 6, which is 3.5 miles. And I've got segment 7, which is 1.7, which is a road walk. So 5.2 miles left from here. And it's 1:48 p.m. So I've been walking, if I started at 9:30, just past 4 hours. So 3 miles an hour, right on my target, right where I want to be. Segment 6, it's just now starting to spritz. It spritzed a little bit. I mean, not even heavy enough. I could just feel a spritz every now and then, but I can definitely tell. I think around 4 o'clock is when it's supposed to get whatever the heaviest is going to be, which is maybe a tenth or so. Looks like we got some more hikers coming this way, so I'll visit with them for a little bit. Looks like about 3, maybe 4. Alrighty. Well, that was actually a group of about 5 or 6. I think about 6. They're actually headed to where I started at, Evangeline Camp. If you're up this area, I've got AT&T 4G the whole way through. Never been without signal the whole time. Okay, came to this road crossing. I knew there was another one, but I guess I just wasn't thinking it was this soon. This is Forest Service Road 208. Blacktop. This way takes you back to 488, which is also called Twin Bridges Road. This is south. I'm not sure which way this takes you, 208. Maybe down towards Woodworth. But for sure, I know this comes off of 488 Twin Bridges Road, which is the main highway that bisects this section of Kisatchie. But anyway, there's the trail. Okay, after you cross Forest Service Road 208, you come to this road. This is Forest Service Road 249. The trail comes out. That's where it picks up, right across the way. Forest Service Road 249. The next road will be Castor Plunge Road, which actually takes you into the town of Woodworth. At that road, it's a paved road. At that road will mark the end of segment 6 and the beginning of the final segment 7. Alrighty. Looks like I'm coming to the trailhead of which is segment 6. Here's Castor Plunge Road. From here, it's a 1.7 mile road walk to the town hall of Woodworth. I'm here somewhere. Yeah, I'm right there. Right where the road crosses, the trail crosses this road. Just got to walk into Woodworth. Alrighty. Well, let's get this done. Woodworth. That's where I just left the trailhead back there. So, wasn't too bad. That last segment, I'm on segment 7 now, 1.7 miles. That last segment 6 wasn't terrible. It was probably it was the easiest. It was literally like a walk through the woods. No major ups and downs on that entire trail, on that segment. It's a narrow road right here. No major ups and downs. No water crossings. I mean, there was a couple trickles, little streams, where I guess if you needed to resupply. But I would say from Woodworth, all of section 7, well, obviously 7, you're in the city. Section 6, you will need to have water to get to section 5. And once you get to 5, there's plenty of creeks. 5, 4, all the way to 3 if you're working west. There's plenty of creeks to get water. Yeah, I'm not real sure where the town hall is in Woodworth. Woodworth's a little small community, so I'm assuming it can't be too hard to find a town hall. Wasn't bad. Started at 9:30, maybe 9:35. It's 3:15 now. I checked my GPS, my Gaia app just before I logged on, and I'd done 15.3 miles. So in 6 hours, just shy of 6 hours, 5 hours and 45 minutes. Probably by the time I walk up here, it'll be 6.5 hours. So pretty much what I wanted to do. My goal was to start at 9:30 and finish by 3:30. I'm pretty much right on it. I didn't really stop for lunch. I ate protein bars along the way. I ate trail mix along the way. I got protein cookies. I've got my water strapped right here to me. I don't have to stop for water. I took a couple 5 or 10 minute breaks at those Forest Service Road crossings so I could film a little. Here comes the spritz. So I could film a little, show you on the map where I was a couple times, but overall I'd say it's a good trail. Easily doable from Evangeline Camp to Woodworth in one day. About 17 miles. Easily doable. It's a nice little deal. It's also doable to break it up in 2, somewhere around that Castor Plunge area. It's a nice place to stop. Lots of water. I wasn't looking for campsites, but I'm sure I saw plenty of flat ground. Just have to find something up a little bit, because that whole area was a little soft back there. But I'm sure you could find something. But I would give it a thumbs up. The Forest Service has done a good job maintaining the trail. It's open. No logs across the trail. I didn't have to cross any logs. Everything was cut. There was boards and walkways across any low spots on the trail. I think one time I stepped in mud. And this is considering it's been raining the last 3 or 4 days. Other than that, when I say mud, I mean where I felt mud get in my shoe. Other than that, very good trail. Highly recommend it. Thanks for watching. Glad I got to share this experience and catalog this trail. That way anybody else who wants to do it has an idea of what to expect if you're headed east from Evangeline Camp. Have a good afternoon. Thanks for watching.